Today, we're going to hear the incredible story of a young man from Vietnam whose unusual actions have gone viral, not only across Vietnam, but all over the internet in recent months. One day, this man made a shocking decision. He would leave civilization behind forever. No city, no electricity, no markets, nothing from modern life would remain. In front of him would be nothing but nature, a vast lake, and the skills of his own two hands. He had only one goal: to build a completely self-sufficient floating island in the middle of the water entirely by himself. As unbelievable as it sounds, this dream led him to a secluded lake hidden deep inside Vietnam's dense rainforest. All around him were thick forests, eerie silence, and unknown dangers. This was where the greatest challenge of his life was about to begin. But one thing quickly became clear. This man wasn't just building a house. He was actually building his own future with his own hands. In a place with no facilities, no preparation, and no modern conveniences, he used nothing but his skills and ideas to create a brand new life from scratch. Even in today's world, reality is much the same. The people who learn new skills and think in new ways are the ones who prepare themselves best for the future. Now, let's return to the quiet lakeside where his unbelievable construction story began. His very first task was to build a floating foundation. As he searched the surrounding area, he discovered that bamboo was the perfect material. It was strong, lightweight, and naturally floated on water. So he began cutting bamboo one piece after another and tying them together to build a large raft. But where would he get rope? Once again, he found the solution in nature. He stripped the strong fibers from the bamboo and twisted them into durable ropes. Using those handmade ropes, he tightly tied the bamboo poles together, and little by little, his floating foundation began to take shape. Next, he started building the wooden framework on top of the raft, but he didn't have a single iron nail. Instead, he used an ancient woodworking technique. He carved small holes into one piece of wood and inserted another wooden peg into those holes, creating incredibly strong joints. Amazingly, the entire wooden frame stood firmly without using a single nail. Then came the roof. He split bamboo into thin strips that looked like roof tiles and layered them one over another so rainwater could easily flow off the roof. Within a short time, a small but remarkably sturdy house was floating in the middle of the lake. But a house alone wasn't enough. He needed food. At first, he caught shellfish and small fish with his bare hands. The place where he had originally started working was rocky and steep, making construction extremely difficult. So he and his dog moved to another location where the shoreline was flat and sandy. There, he began building a floating garden right on top of the raft. He gathered rich black soil and decaying leaves from the forest to create small farming beds. In them, he planted chili peppers, vegetables, and even a banana tree. Slowly, a tiny green world began growing on top of his floating home. But he didn't stop there. In the middle of the raft, he built a small pond where he planned to raise fish. To catch more fish, he designed a special trap. One day, the trap caught a large catfish. Since staying in one place was impractical, he also built a small pedal-powered boat. Using only his feet, he could now travel quickly across the lake. It allowed him to reach different areas easily and gather even more bamboo and timber. Then an even bigger idea came to his mind: growing rice on the water. Using bamboo, he built a large floating structure. He laid banana leaves to create a waterproof layer, then filled it with a mixture of soil, decaying leaves, and wood ash to create fertile farmland. There, he planted rice seeds. As time passed, his floating world continued to grow. One day, while walking through the forest, he noticed a well-worn path. He realized that wild animals must regularly travel along it, so he set a trap there. After waiting for some time, the trap caught 2 wild chickens. But to him, they weren't just food. They were an investment in the future. He brought the chickens back to the raft and built them a small coop. Meanwhile, his garden needed bees for pollination. So he went into the forest and found a wild beehive. With great care, he captured the queen bee and placed her inside a new wooden box. Within a short time, the rest of the colony followed their queen into the new hive. Soon, hundreds of bees were buzzing around his garden, and he gained another priceless source of food: honey. Finally, harvest season arrived. He harvested the rice that he had grown with his own hands, dried it, threshed it, and separated the grains. After so much hard work, the moment he finally ate rice that he had grown himself became one of the happiest moments of his life. Little by little, his floating island turned into a small village. It now had a fish farm, vegetable gardens, rice fields, a chicken coop, and a beehive. Just 1 year earlier, he had arrived there completely alone. But now, standing before him was a dream he had built entirely with his own hands. This place wasn't just a floating house, it was the result of his patience, hard work, and intelligence. In the end, he realized one important truth: no one can conquer the world alone. But if you learn to live in harmony with nature, you can build a truly independent life. And that tiny floating island in the middle of the lake stands as proof that if a person is truly determined, they can create an entirely new world with nothing more than their own two hands.